This video is going to show you Fort De Soto Park and its beaches and why it's a good alternative to some of the other beaches in the area, namely Clearwater and St. Pete Beach. Clearwater Beach is the most famous of them, and it has a lot of new hotels and bars and restaurants. Problem is, it's very crowded, very hard to get parking. There's only one small municipal lot, so it could be very crowded for some people. St. Pete Beach is less crowded than Clearwater Beach, but still has a small parking lot, but it's in the middle of kind of a little town there, so there's some stores and restaurants and some older hotels and motels. Fort De Soto Park, on the other hand, is a state park, and so there are no hotels, there are no stores except for a few snack bar places on the island. And here is a better look at it from a closer picture, and it's kind of like a V-shaped island. And if you look at the satellite picture, you'll see there's only one road in. You come in from the top of the screen, and the Fort De Soto campground will be on your right. A little bit after that is a toll booth. And after you pass the toll booth, if you make a left at the intersection, you'll hit East Beach right there. If you make a right instead, you'll head to a smaller beach and a pier and where the fort area is, the historical fort. If you keep going on that road, you'll go to the end of the road, and that's where the North Beach is, and that's the biggest beach with the biggest parking lot. We'll start the video here at the toll booth. It's $5 to get into the park. And if you drive straight ahead, you'll see that big American flag right there, and that's the intersection of the only street that runs through this whole island. That's Anderson Boulevard. So if you make a left, you'll hit the East Beach, and that's what we're going to do first. So why should you come here instead of going to some of these other beaches? A few reasons. One, usually less crowded. Two, it's more of a park feel, so there's a lot of people coming here having picnics on the grounds because there's trees and grass and barbecue pits and benches and all kinds of things where you can kind of make it a picnic and a day at the beach at the same time. You can't really do that in Clearwater or St. Pete Beach. So coming up over here on the right is the parking lot for the East Beach, and we are going to return to that in just a second, but I want to show you what's at the end of this road. So here's the parking lot. If you go down a little bit more, the road ends and there's a little circle roundabout, and that's one end of the island. Here we're coming up upon the end of the island on this side of the island. And you'll see there's not really much over here, just some flat land. There's the water's edge here. There's some people with their cars. I don't know if they're fishing or maybe throwing a kayak in the water or whatever. Not too sure. But from here you get a nice view of the Skyway Bridge that goes down to Bradenton and Sarasota. So that's what it looks like over here. I mean, this island is not that big from this end of the island to the other end by the North Beach. It's a little less than 5 miles. So let's go back to the East Beach now and see what that looks like. Here is the East Beach. And you see, it looks kind of just like a regular park, except it has the beach, and you can't even see the water from here. So here you see this park part of it, and I don't know if you can see to the left, these people over there have one of these huge oil drum type barbecue pits that they brought with them. So this thing could feed a lot of people, looks like. You can't do that in Clearwater Beach or St. Petersburg Beach, St. Pete Beach. So that's one of the benefits of coming here. You kind of have the park, but then you also have a beach. So you could hang out under the trees, get some shade, and then when you want, you can go jump in the water to cool off every once in a while. So over here on the left, you also have this little party area that looks like it's reserved with a bunch of benches and a roof overhead so it doesn't get too hot. You also have bathrooms here like most beaches as well. And so up ahead is the water. And I don't know if you can see, but off to the left, you're going to see a view of the Skyway Bridge that goes down to Bradenton and Sarasota. So another good thing about coming down to Fort De Soto Park is the wildlife. There's a lot of dolphins around here. I've been down here and I've seen dolphins swimming pretty close to me. I mean, closer to the shore than I was. Originally, I thought it was a shark because all I saw was their fin. So this is what the beach looks like. It's not super wide, and right now it's not that crowded, which is a little surprising because this is Memorial Day weekend. Although it is about 5:30 in the afternoon. I like to come to the beach later in the day just because the sun's not so hot, so less risk of getting a sunburn. So have a look at the water. The water is similar to Clearwater or St. Pete Beach. It's pretty clear. You have a little bit of this seaweed or whatever that's common with most beaches, I guess, at different times of the year. So not a lot of people on the beach right now, but that's fine with me. So this is what it looks like here at the East Beach. So now we're going to go look at the fort and the pier area and the little beach that's over there and see what that looks like. Straight ahead is Battery Laidley. It's part of the fort that has some big cannons, old cannons on it. And you can take these ramps that is in front of it here up to the roof of it. And so you get a good view of the area. You can see the pier and the beach down below. And it's pretty good. I mean, this is the best view you're going to get in Florida because it's so flat. You never get to actually go high up at all, even though this is not that high. As for the tour itself of this battery here, it's really nothing to write home about. We'll take a look at it in a minute, and you'll see it's just a building with some empty rooms and a few old cannons. So I wouldn't come here just to go see this fort, that's for sure. But the pier is really interesting, and of course there's the beach here. So let's have a look at some of that stuff. This is a look at the downstairs part of the Battery Laidley that I was just on top of. Not much to look at. It's just a fortified kind of building with a lot of empty rooms and some really old cannons. Supposedly these are some of the oldest cannons around in the U.S. still, I think. This fort was built in 1898 during the Spanish-American War. And so I think Florida was worried that Spain was going to invade Florida, and so they built this. I think there was more buildings to this. There's one building that is now in the sea. It's on the beach, and you'll see that after I show you the beach in front of this building. You'll see the ruins of the old building that's halfway in the water. So that's pretty interesting to see. So here's some more cannons, and that's pretty much it. I mean, again, I really wouldn't come here just to see this. Straight ahead is the beach in front of this fort. And on this beach, it's pretty interesting because, like I said, there's the ruins of one of the fort buildings that's still on the beach. So it's right there halfway in the water. And over to the left, you can see the pier. That's pretty interesting. We'll check that out next. And so this is what the little beach in front of the fort looks like. Here I am at the end of the pier, looking in the water for dolphins. I don't see any right now, but if you keep watching, you'll see at least maybe 4 or 5 dolphins. So just check the water when I'm focused on it. If you blink, you might miss it. They go up and down pretty quickly. But yeah, this is the pier, and there are a lot of people fishing here. So I guess it's a good place to come to fish if you're into fishing, which I'm not. But it's interesting to see these people fishing and catching all kinds of fish. I see some people with buckets full of fish over here. Nothing really major or big. They seem to be smaller kind of fish, but I guess people still eat them. I don't know. Down at the end of this pier on the right, there's a whole hundreds of birds in the water, and they're diving and getting fish. So I think it's kind of a good fishing place for birds, for dolphins, and for people, because they're all converging over here. I don't know if it's because of the pier itself or this is just a good place to fish. So let's see, there's a dolphin right there. That's one. And you know, dolphins down here are really not that rare. I mean, I like to see them, but they're so common that you'll see on the next section when we go to the North Beach, there's a big sign telling you what you can and cannot do with dolphins. Basically, it's saying that if you see any wild dolphins, you got to stay away from them, and you're not allowed to feed them. There's up to $100,000 fine if you feed them. And so there's all kinds of things, like if you're a sports fisherman and you fish and throw them back in, if you see dolphins in the area, you're not supposed to throw it back in because that's kind of like feeding them, I guess. So let's see if we can see some more dolphins. Okay, I think there's a little one coming up here. Let's see. Yeah, there's a small one right there. It's like a baby one, I guess. And there's going to be another one to the left right there. So I guess that's what, 3 or 4 now. Okay, I think that's it for the dolphins right now. Oh, there's one more. So that's, I guess, 4 or 5 maybe. So you see all those birds over there. I don't know why they congregate over there. I guess maybe because there's a lot of fish. I don't know. But you'll see there's these people. Here's a little kid that He's gutting a fish. Looks like not too big, maybe 6 or 8 inches or something like that. But look at these birds over here. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some people on a little raft or little pool floaty thing in the middle of all of those birds. I don't know if they got there before the birds showed up or they willingly went there in front of all these birds, but I don't think I would want to be there. It looks like some kind of Alfred Hitchcock movie, like The Birds or something. I feel like any minute now they're going to start attacking them or something. I would not want to be there. So this is what the pier looks like, and over to the left you'll see the ruins that I showed you before on the beach, and more to the left is up north is the North Beach, and we're going to look at that now. And here is the huge parking lot of the North Beach and the park-like atmosphere of it. You can't even see the water yet, actually. So this is similar to the East Beach, just seems like on a much bigger scale. And you'll see that the beach is a lot wider than the East Beach. So I would say that this beach gets a lot more people coming here than the other smaller East Beach. And you'll see it seems to have more amenities. There is a food stand / restaurant place here, but it looks to be closed right now. So I don't know if it's because it's late in the day. This is being filmed around 6 p.m. or so, Memorial Day weekend. So I don't know if they closed by this time or what. But to the left is the restrooms, and to the right, or right in front of you here with these chairs, is the restaurant or snack bar, whatever you want to call it. But again, it's not open right now. So let's go on to the rest of the beach further ahead. So right from here, you can already tell that this beach is a lot bigger and wider than the East Beach. And up here are some signs, like I was telling you about, for the dolphins and some other things. And you'll see there's all kinds of rules and regulations about dolphins over here. And the big one is if you feed them, you could get fined up to $100,000. Crazy, right? So anyway, here's the beach. You see how much wider it is. And one thing that sticks out is that the lifeguard chair is empty. So I don't know if maybe they start after Memorial Day weekend, or it's a little late in the day. Like I said, by now it's after 6. But this is kind of a common thing in Florida. Not every beach has lifeguards on them because Florida has a few thousand miles of beaches, and so it'd be pretty expensive to put a lifeguard on every one, I would guess. So anyway, this is what the beach looks like. Very good powdery sand, water nice and warm, very clear. It doesn't get super deep. You can see all those people that are a few hundred feet out are still standing up. So it's only, 3 feet deep, a few hundred feet out. Water's pretty clean, except, there's some plants or whatever that's mucking up the water a little bit. But obviously that's normal. So this is my look at the beaches in Fort De Soto Park. If you liked what you see, then come by and check them out someday if you're in the area. And if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching.